Why does authentic Italian panettone take a massive 36 hours to make? Well, because great bread simply can't be rushed. While most of the store-bought versions you see stacked up on supermarket shelves are mass-produced in a fraction of the time, traditional panettone demands a totally different approach. It's slowly fermented over days to create an incredibly soft texture, a deep buttery flavor, and a really delicate aroma. Today, we're making the real thing, entirely from scratch.
Welcome back to Bite the World. Today, we're taking a journey straight to Milan, the undeniable birthplace of one of Italy's most famous and beloved holiday traditions. This isn't just a recipe for bread, guys. It's a true masterpiece of patience, incredible craftsmanship, and centuries of baking tradition that we're going to unpack right now.
Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to cover the Milanese masterpiece, break down the anatomy of the dough, walk through the 36-hour journey, look at avoiding common baking mistakes, and finish up with a taste of tradition.
Part 1. The Milanese masterpiece. Centuries of baking tradition.
So, panettone originated right in Milan, and its exact origins are actually surrounded by all sorts of local legends. Fast forward to the 20th century, though, and it officially became a beloved holiday staple across the entire country. Today, it's enjoyed globally. But here's the catch. While we eat it everywhere, the authentic artisan methods remain incredibly challenging. The secret to its prestige is the long, natural fermentation process using a sourdough starter. That specific, super slow fermentation is exactly what gives authentic panettone its famous light, airy structure and rich, buttery flavor.
Part 2. Anatomy of the dough. Tools for the epic quest.
And this brilliantly illustrates our setup. Notice how the core dough ingredients are kept completely separate from the sweet mix-ins. For the dough, we've got bread flour, an active sourdough starter, which is absolutely vital, whole milk, eggs, extra egg yolks for richness, unsalted butter, sugar, honey, vanilla extract, citrus zest, and salt. Then, distinctly separated are our sweet mix-ins, candied orange peel, candied lemon peel, and raisins. Keeping these rich dough components separate from the sweet mix-ins early on is exactly how you build complex flavor over time without weighing the dough down too quickly.
Part 3. The 36-hour journey. A test of patience.
All right, this is where the clock starts ticking. Step 1 is to build the starter. You've got to feed and strengthen your sourdough starter until it's highly active and bubbly. This is what creates that famous airy structure. Step 2 is the first dough. You mix your flour, starter, eggs, milk, sugar, and butter, knead it until smooth, and then, crucially, allow it to ferment overnight. Step 3 is the final dough. The next day, you add the remaining ingredients and your dried fruit mix-ins, kneading it until it's incredibly silky and stretchy. Step 4 is the proof. You shape the dough, pop it into a traditional mold, and let it rise very slowly until doubled. And finally, Step 5, bake until deeply golden.
Part 4. Avoiding common baking mistakes. The pitfalls.
Let's move along and see how this builds. Because when you invest 36 hours into a single loaf, the stakes are pretty high. If you make the mistake of rushing the fermentation, the consequence is poor flavor and a really dense texture. If you add your butter too quickly, you get a lumpy, unsmooth dough. It literally has to be incorporated gradually. If you underknead, you end up with weak gluten development, meaning the dough can't hold its shape. And finally, skipping the upside-down cooling process, your beautiful loaf simply collapses in on itself. Patience and technique here are absolutely non-negotiable.
To put that into perspective, compare regular bread to panettone. Regular bread is taken out of the oven and cooled right side up on a wire rack. Easy, right? But panettone? It must be immediately cooled upside down using skewers pierced right through the base. If you skip hanging it upside down, gravity will take over and the incredibly tall, delicate structure of your 36-hour labor of love will completely cave in. It's a high-stakes final step that truly separates the amateurs from the masters.
Part 5. A taste of tradition. The ultimate reward. Now, what's really interesting here is the final payoff. After that intense baking marathon, this is the ultimate reward. When you finally slice in, you'll find an incredibly soft, feathery crumb filled with buttery richness, citrus aroma, and sweet dried fruit. Because we relied on that slow, natural fermentation, it creates a texture that is impossibly light and delicate. It's a culinary experience that is quite literally impossible to replicate with quick-rise, commercial mass production methods.
And the reward goes way beyond just the flavor. For many Italian families, panettone isn't just a dessert. It's a symbol of Christmas celebrations and the joy of slowing down to create something truly special.
Whether it's being shared for breakfast, served up as dessert, or just enjoyed alongside a hot cup of coffee, it stands as a beautiful testament to shared traditions.
So, the crucial point is, are you willing to sacrifice a day and a half of your life for the perfect slice of bread? If you are, which flavor are you dedicating those 36 hours to? The classic candied citrus, chocolate chip, pistachio cream, or traditional raisin? Tell us down in the comments. If you enjoyed this explainer, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us as we continue unpacking authentic dishes from around the globe. Keep exploring, keep cooking, and keep tasting the world.